Jackson Kibor was many things to many people: a self-made tycoon, a respected elder in the Kenyan community, a former politician, and a farmer whose land stretched for thousands of acres across West and Gishu County. After his death in March 2022, the empire he left behind became the center of bitter courtroom battles, disputed documents, and a family torn apart by wealth. This is the story of a patriarch whose legacy became one of Kenya's most dramatic inheritance wars. In life, Kibor commanded attention. His public persona was equal parts controversial and commanding, from chairing political rallies to settling family disputes with an iron fist. Kibor embodied traditional authority, but behind his towering image stood a complex personal life: 4 wives, more than 20 children, and an empire estimated to be worth over 16 billion Kenyan shillings. When he passed on, the question became simple: who inherits it all? Things took a dramatic turn when, shortly after his burial, a will emerged. It was presented by his 4th wife, Mzee Kibor, who claimed the tycoon had left her significant portions of land and properties. The will seemed to grant her and her children a favorable share, but instead of bringing clarity, it sparked outrage. Other family members, particularly children from Kibor's earlier marriages, accused Mzee of manipulating the situation. Tension turned into open hostility, and soon the matter landed in court.
We were very close to Mzee, na alikuwa ametuambia msiende kotini, but we just found ourselves there. Na vile sasa imeisha, it is good we go home na tukae chini tuongee. We are all grown-ups in the family.
Where we have reached now, we are very, very happy that the way we thought the will was forged, we are very happy that it was actually forged. What we are saying, these lawyers in this town, they have gotten a habit of forging signatures. Mtu tu akikufa hivi, wanakimbilia huko kwa widow. Maybe if there was it was a polygamous family, wanaenda kushika mtu moja, wanaanza kukula pesa ya the family with one family member.
Wakati mzee alikuwa hai, alisema yeye hataandika huyu. Number 2, alisema kabla atoke afariki, aliacha instructions kwamba familia wakae pamoja.
Then came the bombshell. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, confirmed that the will was forged. Handwriting experts flagged inconsistencies, and suddenly, what had started as a civil matter took on a criminal dimension. If a will is found to be forged in Kenya, it is treated as if it never existed. Under the Law of Succession Act, the estate would then be distributed according to intestate succession, meaning the court decides how the estate is shared, usually based on the number of spouses and children. This is common in polygamous families, which the law recognizes, but it often leads to complex disputes like this one. The courtroom quickly became a battlefield. Allegations flew back and forth. Some family members wanted the judge disqualified for alleged bias. Others accused certain children of trying to grab land unlawfully. Public interest surged, with headlines highlighting the inheritance war of one of Rift Valley's most prominent elders. The court, overwhelmed with motions and counter-motions, appointed temporary administrators to safeguard the estate while hearings dragged on. But not everyone believed the courtroom was the right place to solve this family feud. In mid-2023, the family explored mediation, a less adversarial method where parties try to settle their differences with the help of a neutral third party. Mediation is recognized under Kenyan law and often used in succession cases to save time and maintain family relationships. Unfortunately, in the Kibor saga, emotions ran too high. Years of rivalry between the co-wives, decades-old sibling mistrust, and the sheer value of the estate made peace difficult to reach. Amid the chaos, Kenyans watching the case began asking deeper questions. How does one protect their legacy? Why don't more people write clear, legally sound wills? The truth is, many families across Kenya suffer similar fates. inheritance disputes that last year's drain resources and leave emotional scars. The Tycoon Kibor case is just more public, more dramatic, and more painful. Legally speaking, in a polygamous setup like Kibor's, the estate is divided among the households, each wife and her children, based on need, number of dependents, and the contributions of each spouse. All children, whether born in or out of wedlock, have equal rights under the law. Gender does not determine inheritance, fairness does. But fairness is subjective, and without a legitimate will, the courts become the final arbiters of justice. The story of Tycoon. Jackson Kibor forces us to confront uncomfortable truths that wealth without planning can become a curse, that family without unity can turn into opponents, and that death without a legal roadmap leaves behind a legacy of conflict. What began as the passing of a patriarch became a national lesson in the importance of estate planning, clear documentation, and legal foresight. As the dust settles, if it ever does, the name Jackson Kibor will be remembered not just for the vast lands he tilled or the political power he wielded, but also for the succession storm he left behind. For Gen Z and millennials inheriting both dreams and debts, his story is a cautionary tale. If you love your family, write a will. Don't let your legacy be decided in court. This is the law of the lands. Kindly subscribe and leave a comment as we continue to bring you more cautionary and real-life cases.